So we just got out of court today with Chief Drew of the Newport News Police Department from the incident on October 23rd. I was found guilty of trespassing on public property. I was found guilty of disorderly conduct for daring to provoke police officers. And the main stab of the chief's case was abandoned property, where he said that by my leaving my American flag in the trees along the police department sidewalk, that was considered abandoned property, which is why he confiscated it. And further, by my following him into the police department to retrieve my property, which he had obtained illegally, and by not immediately beating feet, turning tail, and running out of there as soon as he told me to, that constituted trespassing, which is how I was convicted. But the reason we're making this video right now was that last week, a tow truck driver here in Newport News drove off the side of the road in the middle of the morning and into a tree and killed himself. And, you know, the way the current climate is, everybody has to have their group, so now it's Amber Lives Matter. So these tow truck operators have set up a memorial for where this tow truck operator died, and they've placed a cross with a flag with a yellow line in it right in the middle of the median, which is the public right-of-way. So we're gonna go over here and get some video of this display, which is against the law because it's in the public right-of-way. It's considered abandoned property. Her too did call codes of compliance yesterday and verify that they do not allow any sort of postings in the medians on the city property. And she was told that it would be taken care of, and that's now going on 24 hours, and it is still here. So I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it, but then I'm going to have to pause it so that I can flip the camera around because I can't use YouTube and I can't flip the camera without stopping. So there's going to be a short shot from across the street here, and then once traffic clears, I'm going to cross the street and go get closer videos of it. So here's what we're looking at. This nonsense right here. You see they got the Yellow Lives Matter flag. Must be Amber Lives. So we're gonna go over there and get some good photos and videos of it, and we're gonna wait for the police to get here because it's obviously a police matter to deal with abandoned property on the public rights of way. So as you can see, this is what they've decided is appropriate and allowed. Even though this is technically against city code because it's on the public right-of-way, it is also abandoned property because it's been here at least 24 hours, and I was told that it constituted abandoned property if it was even out of my view or my hand for 10 minutes or less. So, as you can see, the rules are only applied to those who they think the rules need to be applied to. And if there's somebody they want to be friends with, then they can go ahead and do whatever they want, just like the police can. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off now, and I'm gonna call the police non-emergency number and have a police officer respond to come out here and remove this abandoned property, since apparently it's a police matter to deal with city code violations. So we'll see how that turns out. So we're sitting here, the Mennonite church, waiting on our police response for this important police matter. Because if my signs can be summarily taken by Officer Stanley and Sergeant Lawson with no sort of due process, then this is clearly another egregious example of a hazard to public safety. So now, I've been on the phone with the Newport News Police non-emergency number, and her too called codes and compliance. Codes of compliance yet again verified that they do not allow any sort of signs other than construction signs or detour signs, you know, things of an instructional nature, you know, regarding government business, that sort of thing, which is understandable. But no signs of any sort that are of private individuals are allowed on any of the medians. Is that what she said?
Or commercial, yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It can't be an individual thing. It's got to be something for the government in order to be on the government property.
Construction sites.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's for government business. Yeah. They're not out there putting signs in the median because they're putting in a new sewer pipe at your house. Yeah. And I called the Newport News Police non-emergency number, and I explained to the lady that I just got out of court today, and I was convicted of leaving my property laying around on the police property.
Indeed.
It was there for a whole 10 minutes out of my view, and Chief Drew summarily executed the law and seized my property, even though it's not contraband, it's not an illegal item, it's an American flag, for God's sakes.
Yep, and the judge said that you just have to wait to get your stuff back, because if the cops decide to take it, then there's other ways to retrieve your stuff other than to just say, I want my stuff back.
Yeah, you have to.
So they get to steal your stuff, and then the judge backs them up on it. But that's because she's married to a cop.
Well, yeah, come to find out, our substitute judge, because you know how the General District Court goes, just like it was with Brian Fair. We got the substitute judge today because they swapped in somebody who is a little more biased towards the police, because in Chesapeake General District Court we got a retired police officer for our substitute judge, and today I kind of thought we were going to have a little bit of a perk based on our substitute judge because she was a, I don't know, 30s or 40s black woman here in Newport News, but come to find out she's married to a police officer. So there you go, there's the bias connection. And my lawyer, Mr. Goff, argued the points of the law, which the judges are supposed to adhere to the points of the law. And she just outright went totally against what the law says as far as regarding trespassing and disorderly conduct.
Yep.
And so, like I said earlier,
he even brought up case law and everything. He really did a great job.
He researched it and brought up the actual precedents as regards crimes. There are crimes in Virginia that you cannot be arrested for if it occurs outside of the senses of the officer that is the complainant. And one of those is disorderly conduct. No, one of those was not disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
Anyways, he argued a few points of law, and we did get that recorded. I hope to hear from his office here the next couple days about that recording so that I can get it posted so you can all hear the entire trial. But as it stands right now, we're sitting here. It's been about 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes now.
Yeah, we're only going to sit here for 5-10 more minutes before we know that they're just going to blow us off.
And then her two's going to drive home while I stay here and wait for the police. Because I'm not leaving until that thing comes down. Because it's the law.
It is the law.
And if I'm going to get sentenced to a year each. Excuse me, I got something in my teeth. Don't look at that. We were eating at Cece's. I got sentenced to a year each on the disorderly conduct and the trespassing, with the full time suspended on both. I was given a $1,000 fine on each, with the full amount suspended on the trespassing and $750 suspended on the disorderly conduct, which leaves me with a net fine of $250, 2 years over my head, and 5 years of good behavior. Well, that's just not going to work for me, so I immediately appealed it, of course. So I'm looking forward to my trial in circuit court. That'll be later this year. Now, I thought we were going to get through this one, and even the lawyer was surprised, and he has agreed to take it on, so I will be having the same attorney, so I don't at least have to go through the whole story again with somebody different.
That's true.
He will already have the basics and the particulars of the matter, and now we'll just have to do some real research, especially as regards trespassing on government property, especially when engaged in a First Amendment activity. Because I asked the judge, and I hope that's on the recording too, I asked her at the end, once she'd sentenced me, if she could explain how you can trespass on government property, and she immediately launched into, if you're trespassing on the property of another. And I actually interrupted her, and I said, well, but that's the government's property, that's all of our property. And she told me she wasn't going to banter with me. If I wanted an answer, she'd give it to me, but she wasn't going to banter back and forth with me. So I told her I understood. I knew where that was going anyways. That's all I needed to hear out of her mouth anyways. Because she is of the same belief that the chief is, that where she works and shits and eats and sleeps, that's hers. It's not ours, it's hers. It's her courtroom, it's her court building, it's his police station. It's their medians. And nobody can do anything unless they think that it's okay, but that's not the way it works. Either the law applies to everybody, or the law applies to nobody.
Agreed.
Because if the law doesn't apply to everybody, then there's no law. That's not a law, that's a suggestion. And you're not obligated to follow suggestions. You're only obligated to follow the law. So I want to stop this one just because we're burning some time here waiting. It looks like the church is filling up. We are parked at a Mennonite church. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for trespassing on God's property. I've had enough powerful people testify against me in court. I don't know if I want God showing up and saying, Christopher, you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, okay.
Be like, but what other planet is there? For God's sakes. I mean, for your sake. So, anyways, we're going to stop this one now. We're going to give it a few more minutes. Hopefully we see some action. I want to see the law upheld. I want it enforced. I want everybody to be equal under the law, including stupid-ass, dead tow truck drivers who drive their fucking dumbasses into a tree and die, and then stick their crappy cross and a Amber Lives Matter flag and some Jesus candles around the base of it in the damn public right-of-way or the median. It's retarded. Amber Lives Matter. Well, if Amber Lives Matter, then he wouldn't drive like a jackass and kill himself. So apparently he didn't actually believe that. So, we'll take another pause here. We'll be back shortly. Need you to take that memorial down out of the median.
Okay.
It's against the law.
I'm not so sure it is.
It is. My signs were removed by Officer Stanley and a Sergeant Lawson, and I was just convicted in General District Court of abandoned property for leaving my flag on the police property.
Okay. This
So
is what I
need you to remove it.
I'm not going to remove it.
You're not
This
going
is what I'm
to
going to do for you. Is I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'm going to
I've
send
already
it.
verified with the codes and compliance officers that it's against the law.
You know, if Codes wants to come out and remove it,
They say it's a police authority, and obviously the police
okay,
chief says it's a police
I'll
authority.
take a picture of it, and I'll send it to Code Compliance.
I'm going to pick it up myself then.
Sir, you really shouldn't be touching other people's stuff, but if you want
Yeah, that's
to,
what I
we'll
told.
send-
That's what I told the chief too.
You know what? If you want to touch other people's stuff, I'll
It's not.
videotape
It's
it.
abandoned. It's abandoned property,
Sir,
and it's on the public right-of-way in the median.
okay. You do what you want to do. I'll take a picture of it, send it to Code, and if a Code Compliance guy tells me
No, they told me it's a police authority.
it's their decision whether it's in violation, and I'll do that for you.
So how did the police decide that my signs were in violation?
You weren't convicted of that, sir. You were convicted
was.
of disorderly conduct, and you were convicted of trespassing.
I was convicted of trespassing because my property was abandoned and I attempted to retrieve it.
Okay, but that's not the same thing, then, is it?
That's exactly what it is.
You grab a picture of it, send it in. Okay, that's what we'll do for you. If they advise us that it's a violation and tell us what to do, then we'll work with them on it.
They can't tell the police what to do. Nobody can tell the police what to do. I'm telling you what the law is, and you're just going to use your discretion.
I disagree with you.
I know you do. You typically do.
I disagree with you. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for you. Is there anything else I can do for you?
You can obey the law and go remove that illegal fine.
All right, sir. You have a good one.
Thank you for the verification that you apply the laws at your discretion. That'll work well in civil court. Thank you. So you're not going to enforce the city code either, Officer Webster? Sergeant Webster? Section 38-3, posting signs on the public right-of-way or the medians. Can I get your card? Sergeant Webster? Sergeant Polak? Nothing? Nobody's got a card?
What is it you want?
A card. Do you have a card?
I don't have a card, but do you want me to write my name down?
No, I can see your name. Can you pronounce it for me?
It's Polak.
It's Polak? Okay.
Yes.
And you're Sergeant Polak?
I'm Lieutenant Polak. and
Lieutenant
that's Sergeant
Polak,
Webster.
Sergeant Webster. Excellent. Thank you for not upholding the law, even though it's a police authority according to your chief. It'll do work well in civil court when it shows that you guys enforce the laws at your discretion when you feel like it. I appreciate your time. No justice! No peace! Fuck the police! No justice! No peace! Fuck the police! Get the fuck out of here! You fucking piece of shit!